Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. My first video of the year will be my best of 2023 beauty and skincare. Now for this video, I really wanted to focus on products that I tried for the first time in 2023. You can refer to my best of 2022 videos for products that I'm still using and loving to this day. I'll start off with beauty and then we'll go into skincare. So my first beauty favorite of 2023 is the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. Now I know this was a favorite for a lot of people across the beauty community, but definitely for good reason. It's lightweight and it gives a nice, beautiful, pearlescent glow without being too Tin Man looking. Now I believe that this was Maybelline's answer to L'Oreal's Hyaluronic Acid Skin Serum. And so they're very similar in my opinion. They both are very lightweight. They both are referred to as skin tints, but are really more on the foundation side. You can definitely build both of these up to a medium coverage. And interestingly enough, they both have the dropper packaging, which I think a lot of people don't like. So I thought it was interesting that Maybelline went that direction, but that's neither here nor there because the product inside is still very nice. Now, this product is really great as an everyday skin tint foundation product, but it also dresses up really nicely. And what I mean by that is you can easily use it for a more glam look. I currently use the shade 330, which I think is slightly deeper than what I would love, but it definitely works. Moving on to my favorite concealer that I tried this year, and it was actually the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer. Now, I know I've said this already, but when it first came out, I was kind of a hater because people were comparing it to the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer, one of my favorite concealers of all time. And while it truly is not a dupe for that, it is still a very good concealer. So I went from being a hater to using it in pretty much my everyday makeup routine, and I'm actually out of it and will be repurchasing it here soon. It's medium to full coverage and it has great wear time. It's more on the satin, possibly to matte side. It's definitely not too drying under the eyes, but I definitely wouldn't call it a dewy finish. And it's $15 at Sephora, which puts it in the price range of a lot of drugstore concealers at this point. I use the shade 33N, which is more of a highlighter shade for me, but that's just how I prefer to use this particular concealer. I'm not really a fan of using it as a spot concealer all over the face. Now, Sephora did recently release a glow version of this concealer, and I will be testing that out, and I will be getting back to you on my thoughts on that one. I'm actually so excited to try that one out. Another product that I know I've raved about already last year was the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Mask. I bought it at the beginning of the year when I got a Sephora gift card for my birthday, and I used it just about every day until I got to about a quarter left, and then I pumped the brakes on it because I just wanted to make it last. I use it as a prep step in my makeup because it gives just the perfect amount of plump, but it also smooths out any fine lines and it just preps the lips for any other lip product that you'd want to wear later on. I have the cherry vanilla scent and it smells so yummy. All right, next up we have the e.l.f. Cosmetics Cream Glide Lip Liners. Now I almost didn't include these because I did try them later on in the year as it was a more recent release of e.l.f. So first of all, these lip liners are $2. That is unheard of for this climate in beauty. Now this was a launch I was so excited for because e.l.f. already had some lip liners, but I was not crazy about the shade selection that they had. So for the first time, they were releasing more shades that I felt like catered to my personal preferences. So I have the shades Spill the Tea and Dark Cocoa, and I'd say I prefer Dark Cocoa over Spill the Tea. Now these are pencil liners, but they're actually very creamy like the name would suggest. So any of you that feel like pencil liners are too dry, you might really love these. It does have a decent wear time. I will say that, you know, it's not as good as a more dry lip liner, but it lasts surprisingly long for a liner that is on the creamy side. And I also haven't had any issues with it traveling outside of my lip line. Both the shades I have are flattering on me and I love them for that. And even when I was online, I had a hard time choosing which shades that I wanted to try because there were honestly a few that I felt like would work for me. I would love to see them expand on this line. I'd love to see black because I mean, we could all use a good black lip liner. But yes, if you haven't tried those, definitely give them a shot. I believe that they're only available on the e.l.f. Cosmetics website. Oh, also download the app and become a loyalty member for e.l.f. Cosmetics. You get a lot of really great rewards. They're not sponsoring this video or anything, but you get a lot of great rewards, discounts off products and stuff like that. And I just think it's the way to go if you're going to purchase from e.l.f. Cosmetics in the first place. So I fell in love with two lip products in 2023, and the first is the Sunnie's Face Fluffmatte lipsticks, and specifically in the shade Casual. This was one of my most used lip products this year. I feel like the name Fluffmatte really encompasses what it's like to wear these lipsticks. They're definitely matte, so they're not dewy, they're not shiny at all, but they're not drying on the lips at all. In fact, they feel weightless. They have a great wear time, and I will definitely be picking up a couple more shades because it was really hard for me to choose a shade that I felt like would be flattering on me because I felt like so many of them would. Now, last time that I had spoken about them, I saw that they were not currently available to ship to the US, but now they are, and they've released a couple other products since then that I want to try. So let me know in the comments if you've tried anything else from Sunnie's Face. I would love to hear your thoughts. The other lip product that I fell in love with in 2023 was the Ravie Beauty Effortless Lips, specifically in the shade Dahlia, and I am wearing it right now. So just like the name might suggest, effortless is the perfect way I would describe these lip products. I love that they're so easy to apply, they're nice and glossy, but they don't travel outside of the lip line, so you can build them up to where they look really nice and juicy and shiny, or you can give it one or two swipes to where it's more of like a tinted balm. Now I am wearing the shade Dahlia along with the NYX Suede Liner in the shade Downtown Beauty. These are so comfortable, and I love just throwing it in my purse and taking it with me. That way I can always touch it up since they're so easy to apply in the first place. And part of what I think makes them effortless is the fact that they're not super pigmented. They're pigmented enough that you can see the tint on the lips, but not so pigmented that you struggle to apply it or feel like you have to wear a lip liner with it. And since I love these so much, I am so excited to see what comes next for Ravie Beauty. The last makeup product that I fell in love with in 2023 is the AOA Studio Venetian Romance Creamy Bronzer in the shade Canal, and I had to look at my notes because that is kind of a long name. Now, this is the most affordable product in this video at $1.88. If you haven't already been on Miss A's website, you should definitely check it out. They sell like beauty products, skincare, stationery, even some like home accessories for very, very inexpensive. But going back to this bronzer in particular, I love a good cream bronzer, and this one is so nice in particular because it is so easy to work with. Now, the way I like to apply it is by taking a little bit out of the container and putting it on the back of my hand, and then using a dense brush to apply it to my cheeks. This bronzer is pigmented enough that you can obviously see it on the skin, but it's not so pigmented that it's scary to work with. And I find that it performs as well as some of my higher end bronzers. I personally prefer it over the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer because I think that it's easier to work with than the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. And while it doesn't have any issues with moving around, I do still like to set it with a powder bronzer when I use it. All right, moving on to the best skincare I tried in 2023. Now, the first one is actually a sunscreen that I tried at the very, very end of 2022, and that is the Naturium Dew Glow Moisturizing Sunscreen. Now, when it was released, it already checked my boxes off when it comes to the claims. It was going to be SPF 50, moisturizing, and dewy. And then of course I was excited to see that it was going to be at the drugstore. So I'm happy to say that I'm actually almost out of it because I loved it so much in 2023. Now, I did do a sunscreen review series video on it if you want to see a review more in depth, but in short, I loved it because it didn't leave a white cast, it had such a high SPF rating, and it was a nice moisturizer for my skin in general. Now, as a lot of you may know, my favorite of all time is the Bondi Sands sunscreen, and I would say that this Naturium is a close second, but it also ties with the other sunscreen that I'm going to mention. And that is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Whoa Glow Suntouchable Sunscreen SPF 30. Now, again, I was really excited for this launch because I have been a longtime fan of the Supergoop Glow Screen, which, as we know, is a great sunscreen, but on the more expensive side. When it comes to sunscreen, you want to be using it every day. So I want to invest in good sunscreens, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm not having to spend so much money because I'm going through it so quickly. And again, I do have a sunscreen review video on this particular sunscreen if you want to see it more in depth, but overall, I wouldn't say it's a complete dupe for the Supergoop sunscreen, but definitely a wonderful alternative. The glowiness of this product is just so flattering. You can use it with or without makeup, but the great thing is it works really well as a makeup primer. Now, I know that e.l.f. has the clear version of this sunscreen as well, but I personally prefer this glowy one, the Whoa Glow version. Now, they do have a mini size on the e.l.f. website if you want to try it out before buying the full size, but I personally think that if you enjoy the Supergoop Glow Screen, you will most likely enjoy this one. The next skincare product that I absolutely fell in love with in 2023 was the Vitamins and C Beauty Glycolic Acid and Seaweed Exfoliating Toner. Now, I received this in PR when I happened to be dealing with a lot of texture, and I'm still, dealing with it now, but this product definitely reduced the amount of texture that I was experiencing with my skin. I also really enjoyed using this toner because it wasn't drying at all, so I was able to use it both day and night. And again, it's at the drugstore price point, and you can actually pick it up on the Vitamins and C Beauty website or at Ulta. In 2023, Cerave came out with the Hydrating Foaming Oil Cleanser, and it's become one of my favorites of all time. Now, it's advertised for dry to very dry skin. I have dry skin, my husband has normal to oily skin, and he loves it as well. What's nice about this cleanser is that it lathers to a really nice and rich and just luxurious feeling foam when you're cleansing, and it removes all of the impurities and dirt and oil and everything like that without stripping the skin at all. I think that this is a great cleanser, especially for people that might be dealing with a lot of irritation on the skin but still need to cleanse it and want to use something that is going to cleanse without irritating or drying out the skin further. So of all of the skincare products I'm talking about in this video, that's the one I definitely recommend the most. So the last product that I want to talk about is actually a nail polish. So just to give a little bit of a backstory here, I used to do my gel manicures by myself until I recently found out that if you're not doing it correctly, you could possibly cause yourself to have allergies. So because I didn't want to worry about that, I went back to using just regular nail polish. Now, my reason for doing gel manicures in the first place is simply because I didn't want to deal with the dry time. This time, when I dove back into using regular nail polish, I wanted to find ones that would dry as quickly as possible. So the first one that I've tried so far is the Expressie by Essie, and I've loved it so far. So the shade that I use the most is called Cold Brew, which is a brown shade, really beautiful, very flattering on my skin tone. And I do actually have two other shades that I use as well, but Cold Brew is definitely my favorite. But if any of you have any recommendations for quick drying regular nail polish, please let me know down in the comments because I want to try them all. All right, guys, those were all the products that I tried for the first time in 2023 and fell in love with. Let me know down in the comments all the products that you tried last year that you fell in love with and are carrying on into 2024. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I will have linked down below all the videos I mentioned in today's video, as well as all of the products that I mentioned. I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Lights out, I'm the favorite.